If you're a funnel builder and you're stuck making less than $10,000 to $20,000 a month, this video is going to give you tons and tons and tons to think about. So stay to the end because I'm going to cover a lot in this video. Now, I'm sure that you know that in your journey, you have two biggest problems in hand. Those problems are basically funnels and clients. So let's go ahead and talk one by one so we don't really get distracted here, shall we? So I'm going to go ahead and talk about all the main problems that we as funnel builders have in this industry, so that then I can go ahead and share with you how I would go to solve that. As a matter of fact, how I solve those issues to all of my one-on-one clients that want to work with me. So the first problem that we have once we get started is basically, the start of the process. What are funnels for? Why people need it? How do they work? This is the very first problem that most people have, but this is not a high kind of problem. Like, most people can find the answers very, very quickly, either buying a course or watching a few, YouTube videos for a matter of fact, right? So this problem, it doesn't really stay for long unless you don't really want to watch tutorials, but anyway. But then after we go through that, then we start, we have another problem, which is which software should we use, right? We need to learn the software, how to make funnels from scratch, how to use templates, how to make purchase and upsells and automations and all that stuff work. But which software should you use? Should you go for Go High Level, System.io, ClickFunnels, Kartra, all these different ones? We spend quite a bit of time there. We experiment here and there, but it actually is not like a big problem, right? We, at the end of the day, we tend to like one or the other, and we try to stay in that specific funnel, right? So this is not a big problem. But then we start to become more perfectionists. We want to make sure that our design is great. Now, this is a big problem because for a lot of people, building a professional design, it's not easy. They don't have design background. They've never designed in their entire life, so it's not really something easy to fix. So here, things start to get complicated for quite some people, right? How to design elements, how to choose the right templates, how to choose the right colors, how to choose the right fonts, sections, rows. How do I do mobile optimization and all that stuff? How to make my design look really, really professional, right? So a lot of people go and have, a lot of struggles here. And I'm going to go ahead and teach you how you can go ahead and fix all these things in just a little bit. Now, the next thing is how to write copy, because as we start becoming better at design, or as we start learning more at design, we start seeing other things. Like when you try to get clients and people ask you, hey, do you also write copy? And you're like, no, I don't. I just do design. And then if you're like, okay, I'm going to find someone else who does, right? So if you also don't know how to write copy, you are losing tons of money, because your clients, they want the easiest solution, the solution that is going to bring them to the end goal that feels safest. So if you just design and they need to worry about finding a good copywriter afterwards, they just have too many things in hands. They are going to find someone who can do both, right? That's, pretty straightforward. So how to start writing a copy, what kind of frameworks do you want to follow, how to be persuasive, how to do storytelling, all these things. At the end of the day, it's really, really a big problem, because copywriting is not native for a lot of people. And, I can even talk for myself. When I first started, I didn't know how to write a piece of a sales page. I didn't know. I was kind of good with organic marketing, but, writing sales copy is completely different. And I didn't know how to do it. Fortunately enough, I learned it, I spent a lot of money, I hired a lot of copywriters, and I do my own sales copy for my sales funnels. But for my clients, I outsource the copy because I really, really want extra quality there. Okay, but when you are starting, when you are making less than $10,000 a month, ideally you want to learn how to write copy. Okay, we're going to get there in just a little bit. Now, next, automation, right? Once we start learning design, which software to use, how to write, then we start wondering, how can I automate the entire process? Because I know how to build the front end, but then what happens behind the scenes, right? What happens when we add tags, when we do automation, when we send emails, when we add them into a CRM, when you qualify them into the CRM and send them SMS and all that stuff. So how to deliver the products, how to use email, get access to membership areas, how to add external videos, which software to use for automations. So all these things, they start to be really, really, play a huge role as a funnel builder. And I'm sure that you are following up everything here, and I'm sure that you've been through all these things, right? So far, so good. And probably you are resonating more with how to design. You don't really know how to design, or how to write copy. You don't know how to do it. I'm going to get to the solution in just a little bit. And then you have The conversions. This is where a lot of people get stuck, right? Like, what increases conversions? How to design for conversions? What's the customer journey? What are CPMs, LTV, CRA? Like all these things. How to use behavior tracking software. Google Analytics, should I use it? Should I use Hire as well? What do I need to do to make sure that my conversions are bigger and higher? Okay, so all these things, they are one level deep into the complication meter, right? So start of the process, not really that hard. Which software to use, not really that hard. How to design starts to become a pain because you see all these competitors having all these amazing designs, and you know that if you design better, you can charge more, right? How to write copy, same thing. Automations, conversions. This is where things really get started into the money-making world. Like automation conversions, you really need to focus on that. And then you have another thing, right? We're going to get into funnels in just a little bit. We're going to have another thing, which is clients, right? So the first thing is you have lack of leads, right? And I'm going to make this right there. You have lack of leads. And then you start wondering how to get consistent leads. Should I go organic marketing? Should I go paid ads? Do I grow a Facebook group? Because everyone is growing a Facebook group. Should I do it? Should I have an info product? Should I have to niche down? Should I focus on what type of funnel, on a specific type of funnel? I'm sure that you, throughout your journey, you have asked these questions. Should I do a VSL type of funnel? Should I do a challenge funnel? Should I focus on courses? Should I focus on application funnels, on e-commerce funnels? You have all these questions in your head, and then you don't really know which answer is correct. The reason why you don't know which one it is because both are correct. You just need to know what makes sense for you as a person, as a business owner, and for your future. Right? This is why one-on-one, it makes a lot of sense. But we're going to get there in just a little bit as well. I'm going to just review all the steps. Then you start thinking about, okay, I need to implement organic marketing because it's free and everyone is doing it and people are getting clients from there. So how do I write content? How do I get engagement? My posts have 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 shares. How do I get people to involved, right? How do I get more booked calls? Which groups should I join? What's my target audience? Do I use YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all together, just one? Everyone says they're different things. Where should I start? You don't really have clarity there, right? So this is a big problem. And this is a problem that if you don't fix, it is going to persist there and you are not going to make money. You're going to see everyone else make money and bring these great case studies and you stay behind, right? Cold outreach. Should I do cold outreach? Right? How do I do it? Should I use list scrapers? Should I do email or DM people's profiles and all these things? You have all these questions about cold outreach. You don't know how to engage in the conversation and all these things. How do I do it? Right? Next thing you have, which is sales. This is a really big problem in a lot of us funnel builders, which is sales. How can I charge high ticket? A lot of people go through their progress and they charge $100 and then they struggle to get to $500 and then they struggle to get to $1,000. And some people stay there and some people go to $2,000, but they never make this $5,000 sales, right? Or $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 sales. How can you charge higher ticket? How do you increase your closing rate, right? How instead of closing 8 out of 10, you are closing 2 out of 10? How can you increase that margin, right? Because if you are able to increase that you are going to make a lot more money just by increasing that small thing, right? How do I create a good offer? Should I use a script? Should I follow up? Should I do sales calls at all? Should I do DM closing? What works? Because we have people that are doing DM closing. We have people that are doing sales calls. We have people that are doing all kinds of things. What actually works? Should I go for referrals only? I'm stuck doing referrals. I don't know how to get my own clients. How do I do this? This is a very big problem as well. Then we have paid ads. Tons of people making less than $10,000 asking themselves, should I do paid ads? Should I go on a scale, on a larger scale? Should I have a course for lead generation, right? Not a course for lead generation. Should I build a course so I can get more clients? Should I run ads for the course? Should I run ads for a webinar? Should I run ads for something like that for a group, right? All these questions in your mind. And then outsource. Should I outsource design, copy, etc., automations? Should I hire a sales rep? Should I hire a cold outreach agency? All these questions, they make be a part of the 2 biggest problems. And if you're still watching this video, you probably resonated with one or the other a lot more, right? And the thing is, there's really a hierarchy, a pyramid of awareness. Some people, and I'm going to talk about my own journey, right? So in my own journey, when I was getting started, I really thought that my problem was sales. And then I wanted to hire a sales coach. So I went on a call with a sales coach, and I said, I have a sales closing rate problem. And then he started asking me all these questions. And at the end of the call, he didn't sell me anything. He said, dude, when you have more leads, when you have like 50 leads, like at least 50 to 100 leads a month, then you can start worrying about sales. Because right now you have a lead generation problem. And I didn't know about that. I mean, I thought like, okay, I'm having like 3-5 leads. I should be good to go. If I close, 80% of them, I'm good to go. I can make the 5K, 10K that I wanted. But as a matter of fact, that's not how it rolls. You need a lot more leads. You need at least like 10 to 30 leads every month in order for you to, to start worrying about sales. Now, so what that means is you need to be able to get more consistent leads. So sales is not your first problem. The first problem, my own first problem was lack of leads. How can I become better at leads? Should I do organic? Should I do paid and all that stuff? So I thought, I'm not really great at organic marketing. I'm going to go ahead and do paid ads. Because everyone is doing organic, I'm going to go ahead and do paid ads. So I really thought about adding a paid ad system to get more clients, but guess what? That's terrible. Because if you are doing less than $25,000 a month, it means that you don't have a system in place, an SOP process. You don't have, a processed offer and sales process sequence. You don't have a validated offer. You are not prepared for scale. And ads are the only target for ads is to scale, to really get hundreds of leads, hundreds of calls every single month. And if you are making less than 25K or even like 30K, you don't want to go ads. Like absolutely not. That was one of my main biggest issues. And I really thought I needed to. But then at the end of the day, I recognized that no, that's not a problem. I need to do organic marketing and I need to do very, very well. Because if I am able to get 10 to 30 leads per month with organic marketing, which is not hard, then if I close at a 60%, 80% rate, I'm good to go. That's what I needed to do. So before I go into the third pillar, I really want to make sure that I give you value on all these different steps. And I'm going to do it in a way that I'm not going to hold any information back. And I'm going to be 100% as truthful as possible. Because what happens is that in the industry, you see tons of people saying, do this, do that, do that. They don't give you a perspective. They don't give you an alternative. They don't tell you why. All the reasons why they say do this, do that is because they have that to sell. So I'm going to give you the information that worked for me. And of course, I also have things to sell in those solutions, but you don't need to go for me. If you have someone else that you believe that they are better at that, you can go ahead and choose those. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm just going to give you clarity on the reasons why what I'm going to say works and why you should implement it. So if you're still there, awesome. Drop a like in the video if you do. So start the process, what works and all that stuff. All you need to do in this phase is just learn. You need to consume everything. Good information, bad information, just consume as much as possible. Try to see the individuals that like the most that talk about sales funnels, right? Try to follow people that do that for a living, that create a lot of content around that, and also that create content around that for the niches that you like. This is my very first thing, right? The second thing is which software to use. The truth is, there are like 2 or 3 really big softwares in the industry right now. Before there used to be like one software, but right now there are like 2, 3, 4 big softwares out there, and all of them are great at their own things. So you kind of want to navigate and you want to master all of them. That's the truth. You need to spend time learning all of them. Why? Because as a funnel builder, you don't want to get tied to one software, because if that software shifts, your entire skill set and your entire business collapses. So you don't want to focus just on one software. You want to be versatile. You want to learn Go High Level and why Go High Level is great, for what scenarios or which scenarios Go High Level is great. You want to make sure that you learn ClickFunnels and why and when should you implement ClickFunnels. You want to be great at System.io and when should you use System.io. You want to be great at Kajabi. You want to be great at, in all these big ones, because when the opportunity arises, you are going to learn with that, and you are going to be able to consult, to advise your clients on which software they should go for and why. So make sure that you spend quite a bit of time in learning these softwares, buy courses around those softwares, or learn from YouTube. Just have a feeling and experiment with all of them. Now, how to design. This can be really difficult or really easy. Throughout these 3, 4, 5 years, probably like 5 years, close to 5 years now, that I've been doing funnels, for the past 3 years, I've been teaching how I do those things. And the method I've been developing is very simple. I'm going to reveal the method here, very, very simple. There are 5 pillars, and then you can either go ahead and look for those topics and learn from that, or if you like to join my workshop or my course, you can just hit me up with a DM. I'm going to give you all the details, because it's so simple to learn how to design for funnels and how you can become better every day. But most people make it very complicated because they miss the point of what it is to build funnels or to design funnels. Okay, so to design a funnel, you need 5 things. You need your color combinations. You really need to spend time learning color combinations, trying to see which one works best and try to see which one sends which messages. This is fairly simple to learn, but it will require you to push forward, okay? So color combinations, write this down because you need to master this thing. Now, the second thing is you want to be able to construct like a framework. Without a framework, a wireframe, you don't have the foundations to design. You are going to design blindly. So you want to make sure that the wireframing, you master that topic. And go ahead, search for Figma wireframes, or go for YouTube and search for websites wireframes. You want to understand which sections there are. There are tons of them. You have, hero section, FAQ section, you have pricing tables, you have, author sections, you have testimonial sections, you have problem sections, you have all these different sections. And for all these sections, there are tons of ways to design them differently. So you really want to master that, because when you are faced with a different copy, which you are going to be, you need to learn the copy and you need to visualize how you are going to explain, how you're going to display the information. If you don't know wireframing, you are clueless. You are just going to be stuck with templates, and when the copy doesn't work for the template, you spend way too much time solving that issue, right? So you need to master wireframes. Now, the third thing is you need to master backgrounds. Backgrounds are there to support your design. They are not there to make your design look fancy. They are there to support the message, to give a good area, to give a good environment. So don't complicate backgrounds. There are a few types of backgrounds. I'm going to get into detail here. If you are more interested about learning that stuff, I have a course for that, and I have a workshop design for that, which is more one-on-one, for those that really want to learn fast. Now, then after that, you want to learn white space, because white space is going to determine how easy it is to go through the entire design. It's basically, when you are writing, you have commas, you have, dots, you have paragraphs, you have semicolons, you have all these things. The white space, it's that. The white space is when you should stop reading, what you should look for first. You should learn how to use white space in your advantage. And white space is not just a white background. It's not white, the color white. It's not the color white. It's like the spacing between the elements. You should go for them. And then the last thing is really typography, and then contrast, hierarchy, text hierarchy and all this stuff. So which fonts you should use and why, and then the text hierarchy. How are you going to manage the text hierarchy? Because that is going to determine where your leads are going to look for first, okay? Contrast, text hierarchy, and typography. That's pretty much about it. So simplifying with those 5 things, go ahead and look for that on the web if you don't want to go for a course. If you want to go for a course, I have a course about design, funnel design, and I'm going to update it very, very soon. And then I also have my workshop, design workshop, where I teach you all about funnels, like the entire thing, the automation, the copy, the structure, everything, strategy, all that stuff. Now, next thing, writing a copy. This is tricky. And in order for you to understand how to overcome this obstacle, you want to, 1, read good books about copywriting, and 2, you want to learn by reading and practicing. So what I mean by this is you want to read good sales copy. So every time that you go through a funnel, you read it. And then you try to understand, is it working? Or you try to understand, is this good? Or you try to understand, do I want to keep reading? And if you answer yes to do I want to keep reading, is this good? Is it working? You want to understand why. You don't want to go through like like you are reading the content. You're going to through like you are analyzing, you are studying the content. And as you study, you think about the reasons why it worked, and then you study more about advertising and all this stuff, and then you start practicing by you writing it yourself. I have a copywriting course as well. It's only $99 or $150, and it helps you to understand how to write copy. It helps you to understand how to use ChatGPT to give you more ideas, to speed up the process. You are not going to have ChatGPT to write the entire copy. The ChatGPT is going to give you ideas. It's going to help you with research. It's going to help you with, going through the process without the fear of the blank page and not having ideas. And then you are going to go there and going to optimize the copy. Okay. So if you are interested in a course about that, I do have it. Or you can go ahead and try to find how to write good copy for, on YouTube tutorials, on other places, on books and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, there's a book that I want to recommend here, which is this one. I don't know if you can see it. It's flipped though. Basically, the name is The Lazy Copywriter's Guide to the Galaxy by Robert Walsh. I bought this book like 1 or 2 years ago, and it's extremely good. It's thin. It's this thin. You can read it like in a couple hours, but it's packed of great information. So if you like to buy it, I don't have any affiliation with Robert Walsh or with the book, but it's extremely good. It's really, really good. Now, if you are interested in purchasing the course, the specific for funnel builders on how to write VSLs, digital courses, application funnels, and all that stuff, I do have a course about it. It's $150. If you like to get a coupon, a discount coupon, let me know. I can give you one as well. Just send me a DM. Okay, so writing copy, it doesn't need to be extremely difficult. You just need to know where to look for information. Now, for automation, how to leave the process and all these things, you want to learn about the environment. When do you do automation and how do you do it? So for software like Go High Level, everything's going to be inside Go High Level, or like 90% of the things is going to be inside Go High Level. Only when you are trying to send information to a CRM outside or sales CRM or whatever, you can use Zapier or Make.com to make that happen. But you want to understand the processes. Like when a purchase happens, what do you need to automate? When the upsell happens, what do you need to automate? When it doesn't happen, what you need to automate? When they get access to a membership, what do you need to automate? When they book a call, what do you need to automate? You want to understand the process, and you want to dissect it just like I did here. You want to do the exact same exercises like I did here for your process, for your customer journey. So then you can learn those specific processes. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube. I learned automation from YouTube. There's tons of those things. Once you get the concept, you can make it happen. I don't have a course about automation right now. Maybe in the future. I don't know. If you are interested, let me know. I'll probably build one because it's very, very simple. I do have an automation course free, which is a Go High Level course, which also has automation. If you are interested in learn automation inside Go High Level, I'm going to teach you the fundamentals there, so you can do an application funnel, an upsell, a challenge funnel, all that stuff. Okay. Conversions. Conversion is very important. It's very hard to learn. There's not a lot of information out there. Really, really hard to learn. But you want to understand the human psychology. You want to understand the buyer's behavior. You want to understand the biases behind the purchase. You want to understand the design, when the contrast. What is the role of contrast? So here, there's tons of things to learn. I'm not gonna share with you a resource specifically. I might bring a content around this because I know how hard it is to find. The way that I've learned conversions is through a few things. One, sales. I have learned sales a lot, back in the day, like 80 years ago, I have learned sales. I started learning sales there. So when you learn sales, you understand what ticks people, what gets people excited. So specific words, specific narratives, that is going to help tremendously. But also I've learned design like 15 years ago. I started learning design, and design also plays a big, big role. So when you understand what grabs people's attentions, you want to use that effect in things that are going to tick people to buy or tick people to pay attention. So you want to have those things. Another thing is, when you go through, that are going to help you, when you go through good pages, good websites, good funnels, good designs, in traditional marketing, you want to understand, wow, this got my attention. Why? And you want to dissect it. This is a work that you can do for free. You don't need to pay anyone to do it. But you want to understand, this worked for me. Why did it work? And you want to take a screenshot or a picture, and you want to dissect and want to replicate it yourself. You want to think the psychology behind it. That's the best way I can help you with that right now in conversion, because it's a complicated matter, because there's tons and tons of examples here. But I might bring a course around it. If you are interested about a free course or a paid course, let me know, and I'll go ahead and create one. But it's really about understanding what makes people tick, what makes people pay attention, what makes people want to click, what makes people want to be part of things. Okay, so study psychology biases applied to design. You are going to learn a ton of that. The other thing is going to be clients. Okay, so lack of clients. So if you have lack of clients, you have lack of visibility. That's one thing. People don't know you. You have lack of personality. What it means is not that your personality is bad. It's basically like your personality on your social media doesn't reflect anything, basically. So if you are just doing how to increase your designs, whatever, how to make a button, how to do this thing, like specific how-to things on that matter, you are not going to get a lot of clients. To get clients, you want to have a lot of visibility, but you have to have a good messaging, a good communication. And good communication goes through a lot of ways. So the first thing is who you are going to target. The niche is important. It can be a specific type of niche, like industry, or it can be like a type of funnel kind of thing. Like I'm going to talk about everyone that wants to build like a challenge funnel. Awesome, cool. That's your niche, challenge funnels. Or I'm going to talk about everyone that wants to be a coach, for example, or a course creator. Awesome, that's your niche. So you want to understand a lot about your niche, and you want to understand their ticking points. What makes them buy, what makes them suffer, what makes them be excited, what makes them lose hope, what makes them, what they hate the most about their business, what they would like to have someone to solve those things. So all these things you want to really, really pay close attention and learn about it, so that you have a solid positioning, and then you know how to do organic marketing, okay? So lack of leads is lack of interest, lack of visibility, and lack of a great offer. Now, after that, how to write the content, it's really complicated to teach you here, but basically there's like 3 or 4 things in the structure. The first one is how you get people's attention. So if you say something like, I don't have like a specific example now, but how do you get 3 to 5 high-paying clients every single month for your agency? Or how I got 5 high-paying clients every single month for the past 2 years in my funnel agency. This is a good hook because people are interested in that, right? Bad hooks are tons of bad hooks, but you really want to nail the hook part. And then the bridge. The bridge is basically the way that you use to go from the hook, that's make them stop, to your narrative. So it's the piece in between the hook and the narrative. And then when you go from the narrative, is value. It's all about value. You need to give value so people know this guy knows what he's talking about. This girl knows what he's talking about, right? The narrative is good. And then afterwards, you need 2 more components. The next one is credibility. People need to see how credible you are. If you are starting out, you don't have a lot of credibility. So what you do is you play the price role. You play the price game. So basically, they got your attention. They send you a DM. They say it's super cheap. It's going to be $500 or $300, whatever. You just close the deal. But as you start getting better, as you start getting more portfolio, more testimonials, and more case studies and all that stuff, you want to share those things. Now, the last component is the CTA. The CTA doesn't need to be send me a DM every single time. It can be keep watching my content, go learn here, go learn there, comment here, send me a DM, book a call with me, whatever. There's tons of different ones. And the most important part is there's a hierarchy of CTAs that is higher in risk and lower in risk. When you lack leads, when you lack visibility, you need to use lower risk CTAs. When you have a really big brand and you want to make a lot of sales, you use higher risk CTAs with a high reward. That's pretty much about it, okay? As far as cold outreach, don't do it when you're starting out unless you have someone that is teaching you how to do it. The main reason why is because you don't have time to learn everything. So focus on organic marketing, really perfect that. Don't do cold outreach right away. Once you start getting to 5K, maybe, and you have a solid foundation there, then you go ahead and use cold outreach. The main reason why is because cold outreach, there's tons and tons and tons of people out there. If you don't know how to engage in a conversation with value, then you're not going to get results from there. You need to send like 200 messages a day. Now, as far as sales goes, you need to super simplify this. The way that I teach sales is very simple. When you go into a sales call, it's not a sales call, it's a discovery call where you are going to understand where your audience is, what is wrong with their process, how you can solve that process, and if you solve that, how their life will be afterwards. So it's all about asking them questions, hearing them speak, hearing and really try to understand the missing piece. really spend time asking questions to find the missing piece. Because if you don't find the missing piece, if you just hear, I want a challenge funnel, yes, I build a challenge funnel, how much is it? $1,500, then you are just competing with price, you are not competing with value. So you really, really want to understand where they are in the journey so that you can then input a lot of value in the solution. The solution is the missing point. A lot of people out there that teach you how to create an irresistible offer. The way that you create a irresistible offer is by customizing your core offer to the lead that you are speaking to. Okay, this is what I believe in. This is what made me, my highest month ever was like $70,000 cash collected in like 180,000 in deals. And on average, I do around $10,000 to $20,000 cash collected profit. So this is what I use to make the amount of sales. Now, as far as paid ads, stay away from paid ads. Don't use it only when you are $30K per month and ready to scale. If you want to scale through ads, go ahead and do it. For outsource, design, copy, etc. If you are starting out, don't outsource it. Learn the fundamentals for all of them. Test them, all of them. Give it a good solid year to test all of these things. The sales, the cold outreach, if you want to, the organic marketing, the design, the copy. Learn all that stuff because you're going to be skillful and you are never going to depend on anyone. Because imagine this. Imagine that you outsource a design to a great designer, right? You take like 3, 4, 5 designers, but one was great. And that one says, man, I got an opportunity elsewhere, I'm going to jump. When you jump, you are in a very terrible place because you just lost your best designer. You don't know how to design. Now you need to find another one. Let's say you spend another month to find a designer. All the clients that you lost, it's terrible. So you need to have control over those things. You don't want to have a lot of things outsourced when you're starting out because you need to make money. You need speed. You need to be there in the market. So take the time to learn it. Invest in learning. Hire coaches. Buy courses. Join communities. Join challenges. Really focus on learning as much as possible because when you have full control over the things, you are never going to feel like you don't know what to do next. And once you start scaling, that's when you want to start outsourcing, okay? Because you know how to do these things, but then you need to scale, right? So to scale, you can scale by outsourcing your things that take you the most time and then still do things that you like to do, that fulfills you. And then you have the scaling. Should you go for exclusivity, get paid more, hold a bigger profit margin, work with 3, 5 high quality clients a month, have a smaller or no team at all? That's the way that I've done things to scale to 20K a month. And it's going to be the way that I do things to scale it to 50K a month. But some people don't like that because, you need to increase your rates and you need to really go into you need to really be good and you need to know that your project are going to be worth it, right? So some people are scared of that or some people don't really want to be the piece of the engine. Some people like to go, like they want to be the managing role and have an agency working for them, which is also great. But here, if you go for agency, you have to have a competitive rate, you want to grow in quantity, and you have to have a bigger team. So here you focus on you adding value and making a lot of money, a lot of profit. Here you focus on you finding the best people to work with. You need to always be finding new people to work with, right? And you need to be really great. You need to be A players. And then you scale on quantity in that sense. So you need to use paid ads and all that stuff, right? And then you go into managing role. You need to learn a new skill, which is managing people. Or you hire someone to manage that, which decreases your profit margin. But both are valid. Both are great. I love the agency model and I love the exclusivity model. Right now, I'm going for exclusivity. But once I find that doesn't make sense for my project, I would go agency-wise. I could go for that, no problem at all. Okay, so guys, this is like a 30-minute video. It has tons and tons of value packing on the entire structure of a funnel business. I did like pretty much like 80% or 90% of the questions that most funnel builders have. They are here, they are addressed. If you, for some reason, have a specific question about a specific part of the process, send me a DM. I have tons and tons and tons of free resources. I have like hundreds of videos, like 500, 600 videos on free resources that I talk about all these things. So if you are interested in a particular one, send me a DM. I'll send you a free resource. If you know that you don't want free, you want paid, and you want to work and learn really faster and have a lot of support doing when you are learning that, I have a lot of offer for that. I have my one-on-one coaching for clients and funnels. I have my one-on-one coaching for funnels specifically. I have courses for design. I have courses for copywriting. So there's no lack of resources here. Send me a DM and we have a chat. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you found value in this video.